Did I do that? Yeah, sis. You did. I'm Britt, and this is part 4 of the story of how I got cheated on by Carl Winslow. So, at the top of February, we go on this cruise. Or, no, it wasn't the top of February. It was the end of January going into February. And um, Carl had only been on Carnival before, and I like to explore different cruise lines. And a few years but before COVID, I went on this MSC cruise, and it was really nice with top quality like service and really good food. This time it was very mid, okay? Like it was cool outside, the service was mid. Um and the food was not cracking. And you know when you like introduce somebody to something new, you feel like responsible if it's not like all the way right. So like I'm getting the vibe on the cruise that like Carl is kind of like comparing everything to Carnival. Like on Carnival this would and on Carnival, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's like this. The last time I was on this mug, it was bomb, or else I wouldn't have come back. But that is neither here nor there. I feel like we had a pretty good time, and I also felt like we traveled well together. And that's really important to me because I love to travel. So, of course, I want to be able to travel well with my potential partner. Now, one of the things that's really important to me is starting a family. And do I want to start a family right now? No. But is it important to know that the person that I'm dating and I are on the same page? Absolutely. Now, in December, when we used to sit in my car and chop it up all the time, of course, I'm going to ask a potential partner where they stand on having kids. Now, do I want to be the third baby mama? No. But I understand that people have lives and stories before. All that I wanted to know is, would you be open to having another kid? One. See, look, I'm one of them people. People ask me how many kids you want. I'd be like, I want a bad spades hand. I want a one in a possible. That's it. One in a possible. I really would just want someone who's willing to try to have children with me because you guys, let's be all the way fucking for real. I had chemotherapy that has wreaked havoc on my reproductive system. Does that make sense? So at this point, I just want to be with somebody who's willing to try with me. And in the car, he said, with the right woman, I would be willing to have another kid. I might be willing to do that. Well, knowing that I'm a cancer survivor, knowing that fertility it might be tricky for me, knowing that that is something that is number one on the list for me, I didn't think that that would be something that he would say unless he was serious. And I always talk about having a magic baby because it's going to probably be a little bit magic when I have a baby because it might take a bit of work, you guys. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I had to have a whole ovary removed to preserve my fertility before I started chemo. The other one has been fried, dyed, and blow dried. Okay? It is burnt to a crisp with the chemo. So I do believe it will be magic if I have a child. But that's not the point. I talk about magic babies. I see babies and I think that they're amazing. I'm proud of people I don't even know who have children. I see pregnant women and I am so happy for them. Like it's a thing for me. And that was a thing on the boat. And there was this baby. It was just a beautiful baby. And like he set it up to ask the parents like if I could just be near the baby. And they ended up letting me hold their baby. A stranger. Like, okay. And then when we get off of the cruise, a couple of weeks later, he's like, I've really been thinking about this. And I don't I don't want any more kids. I saw how important it was to you, you know, but you said magic baby so many times, and I started to like cuz I realized how much I don't want to do that again. And that was a blow. Cuz I'm like, yo, like you knew that that was a thing for me. Why are we even on this cruise? Why did we go? And I should have left right in that moment. But I didn't. Duh. Or else we wouldn't be talking about this right now. And it wasn't that I thought that he would change his mind. I don't believe that. I think that when people say stuff like that, they mean it. But he was the first decent man that gave me a glimpse of hope, of the fact that there could be love after cancer. I felt like he treated me kindly. I felt like we talked about really amazing things. I mean, during the first couple of weeks of us dating, we played this question game where we would just ask each other questions via text throughout the day. And we learned so much about each other. I loved that. Felt intentional. But eventually, that came to a head, along with the we're not communicating well. And we were just dating still. And Carl asked me to go to couples counseling with him. Now, I don't know about you, but if you are not in a committed official relationship with somebody and they ask you to go to counseling for couples, but you're not a couple, that's friendship counseling, right? For this communication issue that I don't really know what it is. But there's a thing. Maybe because I talk spicy. Yeah, I do. I talk spicy. And sometimes my tone gets louder. Yeah, I might say some slick shit. But it's usually like, I'm not going to call you no names. I'm not going to call you out your name. I just might get loud. But Carl didn't get loud. Carl would talk like this. And Carl felt like his way was the way to talk. But I'm not going to couples therapy with my friend. And Carl was upset because I said I wasn't going to friendship therapy with him. But let's call a spade a spade. We're just friends at this point. Now, did I think that was crazy considering the amount of time that we spent together and how much we communicated and how well we got along and the fact that we just went on a cruise? But that was one of the obstacles that got placed there. Now, you don't want to have kids, which I should have left. But also, in order for us to move into a relationship, we need to go to couples counseling, and we're not a couple. Well, shortly after that, we agreed that we should probably stop talking. And he actually initiated that. So we stopped.